welcome back to Don't Forget Your Flashlight. I'm
Loved
Michael,
it.
joined by Casey and Gabe.
Hello.
I don't know the title of the episode.
Uh,
Otherwise, I would have said it, but I don't know what we're going with.
Today's episode is Hurts So Good.
Hurts so good.
Hurts so good. I'm not going to give you the doc. I want you just...
Or so good it hurts.
No, just hurts so good. Welcome
Can
back
you...
to Don't Forget Your Flashlight. What?
How is hurts spelt?
Like you hurt yourself.
Okay, I was curious on if that was a play on words because
Like, if you're messing around with electricity, you hurt yourself.
That's what I'm wondering. Was it hurts so good? Like, are we talking about like the right amount of electricity you need to feel good?
No, when something on your body's damaged.
HERTZ or HURTS?
Yeah, Gabe, come on. If you're messing around with electricity, and then let's say you hurt your arm really bad, and you hurt yourself.
You hurt yourself with hurts. Got it. And it hurts.
For as long as there have been laws, there have been machines to punish those who break them. Some machines cut, some crush, some drown, some go up your butt. But all of them exist for one reason: to make sure you suffer and to make others watch. Gotta say, it's kind of kinky. And we don't kink shame here at Don't Forget Your Flashlight. Even in the events of history, we don't kink shame. Today, for you guys, I have 7 torture devices used throughout history. Some just for humiliation, and some to kill. First up, the rack. Have you guys heard of the rack?
I have heard of the rack.
No, but I'm just picturing you just hanging someone out to dry, like on a rack.
No, not quite. It's a very iconic torture device, which can be seen in The Princess Bride, and there's a variation in Saw 3, but that version twists your limbs instead of pulls. So the rack is a bed-like open frame suspended above the ground where the victim's ankles and wrists are bound by rope. It's obviously binding the limbs, and it's attached to axles near the head and the feet, such as Gabe is demonstrating now. And when the axles are turned, they would pull the ropes, causing the limbs to become dislocated.
Didn't someone do that as didn't someone try and pass that off as a way to get taller? Like they'd stretch you out?
Dude, sometimes I think I need that for my spine to just get pulled out.
So I say it in here. Let me just finish this real quick.
Okay.
The rack, which was introduced in 1420 to the Tower of London, which is a fortress in London. Similar devices were used in Ireland and Portugal in the 17th century. The rack was used to extract confessions and incriminating information from suspected traitors, heretics, and conspirators. Personally, I think it was just the earliest version of chiropractors. What if they weren't screams of pain, but screams of relief?
I'm with you up until the arm or the it's disconnected from the body, or the body gets split in half. Because eventually, the more they rotate, things will start to get pulled apart, and it will no longer be the nice chiropractic.
I wonder if
we've got our joints here, and now it's here.
Off by the rack.
I would imagine
absolutely that was the
torn
point.
in half. Your legs and arms would probably the ball joints would pop out of the socket, and then at that point they'd probably eventually start tearing and actually ripping off.
Yeah. Well, see, it really I think depend on the specific person, because if you're keeping tight the whole time, and then eventually your stomach starts to just shred, or your arms get pulled out of their sockets, or literally your spine.
When you do
so many things, I feel
your sternum pops. I feel like it'd be a lot of pressure on that too, and that'd start to hurt after a while.
Now you lost me about
the
stomach tearing and stuff like that, but then you kind of had me back whenever you said that your spine would, pull too.
I think your discs are just that gel-like material. And I feel like after
if I get if I could get in the rack just for 5 minutes, just pull my spine out,
Honestly,
I bet you gotta admit there's probably a brief moment in the rack where your body gets decompressed essentially, and you're like, ooh, that's not too bad.
Also, it's funny that Gabe brought it up.
That's
They're
what
like,
for
"You
like
can stop
half a
now."
second.
I bet it'd feel great. My first thought was The Incredibles, the first movie where the robot is pulling him apart, trying to rip him in half, and all you hear is that loud pop, and he starts laughing. I'm like, that probably was phenomenal.
He's like,
yeah.
you know. And I think that's literally whenever you see him start standing up.
That's what I'm saying. I
straight,
feel
he's like,
yeah.
oh, yeah,
at a point, you just be like,
good.
oh, dude, I'm like king now.
Yeah, fuck me up with the rack for a little bit. I'm
ready to go.
Yeah, I'm into it.
You know, I have an inversion table, and to an extent, when my feet are locked in and I'm upside down and my back is stretching out, it feels kind of like that, you know, like my legs are being pulled. Not to that extent, and obviously what the people that were on the actual rack went through,
No,
it was probably painful for them very quickly.
It's the same thing.
Well, the stories of like where you tie different limbs to horses and hit them all at once and they start pulling, would that be essentially like the beginning of this table, like almost like an origin?
Well, that's like a western
drawn and
thing.
quartered. Drawn and quartered.
They did that back in medieval times.
Did they?
That's not.
Yeah.
That's medieval and before. That was a
limbs to
that was a
animals,
common
like
thing.
horses,
From
slap them
I'm pretty
and
sure.
have them run.
Maybe even Roman times had reports of that, and it was literally that's the common thing. Put them in all four directions, and you just hit all four horses, and they all take off at the same time.
That aggression would definitely dislocate.
No, that was a long time.
But it would definitely dislocate body parts.
No, it would absolutely rip you in half. The horses could easily take it because again, like your hip joints popping out, and then all those muscles, ligaments, and your skin's getting stretched until it rips.
So,
and that's probably going to happen quickly.
That's not something that you would find at like a spa.
Depending on where you go, maybe.
Who created the spa?
Spaghetti monster. Well, I don't know if he doesn't have wings, so.
I hear you saying spa. Are you trying to say spaghetti?
Spa.
I think we're all in agreement. I think this is a good one. So, thumbs up for the rack.
This is good. We like the rack.
Everyone, thumbs up.
Just the rack.
Everyone, do thumbs up for the rack.
Of this one. Up until the death, phenomenal.
Next one.
Do you have the? I'm just gonna ask. Do you have this one?
Do you have? I don't know how to demonstrate this without being inappropriate. Do you have a certain
no, go on.
rod?
Go on.
No,
I don't have the glass rod. No.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know exactly what both you guys are talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
I don't have either of those.
For me to demonstrate it, it'd basically just be exactly what you think it would be.
Okay. I'm curious then. He's just like, do you have the rod?
Good thing you still got your thumbs, because we're going to give a squishy thumbs up for the next one, which is the Thumbscrew.
Wait. Are we going to actually, like, at the end of each one, are we going to say, would we do this?
Oh, no, the Thumbscrew. I've heard of that one.
Okay, what was it?
I was going to say, at the end of each one, are we going to, like, say, would we do it?
If you want. Because I don't think
I would. I would try.
Yeah,
it.
it's like
I'm not doing any of these.
Cracked, and I'd be like, okay, take me.
I think you. No, I wouldn't try any of these. Anyway, so back to it. The Thumbscrew was used between 1450 and 1750, but could have been used for like earlier and later. There's not exact dates for pretty much any of these torture devices. The device was a clamp or a vice, which is used on the victim's thumbs, fingers, or toes, sometimes having studs or spikes. And it was used to crush a victim's limbs. Well, not limbs, but fingers, digits. While mostly used on a singular thumb or toe, sometimes it was designed to accommodate all the fingers and toes. Other names for the Thumbscrew are thumbkin, thumbikin, Pillywinks, which is my favorite, and Pilnywinks.
Pilnywinks?
I like Thumbkin and
Pillywinks is my favorite.
I would, you know how
do you have any Thumbkin?
Because like if you were like a foreigner going to, I think that I don't remember exactly where this was used, probably all over the world. But if you were a foreigner to that land and you did something wrong and they're like, put them in the Pillywinks, I'd be like, this is going to be a great time. I'm going to have a great experience. I just know it.
You know how like excited I'm like, dude, this sounds nice.
Exactly, which makes me think this is like a UK thing. Yeah. Yeah, because it sounds sweet almost. Because that's why I feel like it's like a UK thing.
Yeah, I've heard some of their like nothing against any.
No, you
UK
can offend them
listeners if they're out there. I've heard slang from UK, and I'm like, you wonder why Americans don't
Casey?
take
Do
you
you have the one that
serious.
I think it's called Iron Maiden? I think.
Okay, I know what the Iron Maiden is, but your hand gesture is not that.
I'm trying to close like a door close, like a door.
What was the hand gesture? I didn't see.
No.
Oh.
Damn.
I don't.
I don't know. Does it close that way? I thought it was one door. Is it two doors?
There's different designs.
They have this. They have.
No, the Iron Maiden
so
did not make
closes
the
and
cut
the other
on
one
this one.
locks them in place. Also, the Iron Maiden wasn't actually used. There's a whole thing. We can get on that later, but the Iron Maiden has a whole history on whether or not it was.
Like you could almost have an episode by itself. I feel like.
Because there's a very strong possibility the Iron Maiden was created for decorative purposes as a thing.
All right,
that
back
was never
to the Thumbscrew. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, honestly, like I've seen it. I've never seen it in action, but I've seen like the actual device. Depending on the crime, if they just broke one finger, I'd probably be okay with it. Like it would hurt, I would hate it, but like one finger.
Just wait, Michael. Anyway. So the website, https://co/4/co/objects/CO154990/France-1601-1850 has a very interesting take. Have you guys heard of that website?
No. I'd have to type it in. What was it called?
It states, the thumb was placed between the screw and the metal plate at the bottom. The screw was then tightened. The thumb could be reduced to a bloody pulp if enough pressure was applied. Prisoners were also hoisted up by their thumbs. Michael, you still interested?
No, I didn't know that part.
Ow!
I didn't know that part. Because it's like a clamp, right? The picture I saw, it's almost like a vice.
Could you imagine them just? Yeah, it is a vice.
Yeah,
it is a vice. It's not almost a vice, Michael. It is a vice for your thumbs, and sometimes
vice or studs.
The one again, I saw a picture, and it's just two bars.
Hey, Michael.
I'm seeing the picture I saw though. It's
hey,
just
Michael,
two
I'm going to
bars
interrupt you for a second. Michael, can just today, could you listen?
Yeah.
Just try it. But yes, it is a vice or a clamp, and it could be fixed with studs or spikes. Like it is like a clamp bar, like what you're thinking.
That was the picture I saw.
But yeah, that device could be fixed with studs or spikes.
They could hook it up to a pulley system and
which
you up by your thumbs
would be awful. Do you think they would just apply enough pressure where like you would just drop, like they would hoist you up and keep applying pressure, and then you would lose your thumb and fall?
I just imagine your body weight being held up by your thumb is going to dislocate your thumbs, and I feel like they'd tear at some point.
What's that thumb like illusion thing?
Oh yeah, it was.
You're onto it.
It's like that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The thumb would go on the thumb. But yeah, I just feel like. Do you imagine like the guy doing the torture is like, look what I got. Look what I got.
I like how that took me a second.
Yeah, wrong finger, buddy. So there's no mention of a specific type of person this is used on, such as like a heretic or a conspirator. It's just used on a not so good boy. But it was used to get information or to confess to a crime. Yeah, which also I feel like is like a super early CIA tactic.
Well, torture has always been a thing.
Even if you didn't do the crime, chances are.
Well, I know it's just. The CIA is notorious for just like torturing you to make you. Well, I guess police really.
Allegedly.
Yeah, say allegedly on that for sure.
I don't know why I'm defending
the
them.
police and CIA and FBI have all been notorious for.
We know the CIA is torturing people.
It almost seems like common news anymore. It's where they make you confess to a crime you didn't commit, from interrogating and torturing. All right, you're gonna want to take a seat for this next one because next up is the ducking stool.
Oh wait, I've taken a seat.
Okay. Gave you guys
ready?
chairs. So now we're going to talk about the ducking stool, also known as the cucking stool. Was a form of public humiliation and punishment, mainly for women.
I'm not going to laugh until after you continue this.
It was a punishment for women for things like scolding or nagging and other behavior deemed disruptive or disobedient. The device originated around the 17th century and was a chair or stool attached to a long beam which could be lowered into the water, kind of like that toy bird that dips his head in a
Essentially,
glass of
think of a
water.
teeter-totter with a chair on the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah,
It
they would
goes
dunk you.
underwater.
Like they would. So it was used a lot during witch trials.
You know about the ducking chair?
You talking to me?
The guy, yeah, the
No,
guy
he's
who
talking to the other
obviously
guy.
knows.
Yes, I know about the dunking chair.
Anyway, I like to think of it as that toy bird that dips his head in the glass of water. You just go, except this is just
That's
you go
so
ass.
much more
You go
playful
ass.
than this.
Yeah, yeah. You just go ass first in this one.
Did
Yeah,
they
you
submerge
could
completely.
drown.
Yeah, because the whole idea with it, I don't know what case he's written about it, so I'll wait. Actually,
One could even argue it's the first carnival ride for women.
I don't find
All
that
right.
funny. I'm still wondering, why did I have to take a seat?
I don't know.
You started this one with
You
take
technically
a
own
seat.
the seat already.
But I took
From
it
where?
over
From down
there.
the
You said
road.
take a seat. I took one. What am I supposed to do with this?
honestly, that would have been
Am
a
I-
funny.
am I
bit
getting
if
in
you,
the
like,
water with
walked
this
out of your
seat?
house and came back like, okay, I just stole this from the restaurant down the road.
Define disruptive.
Just think of like classic misogyny and just aggressive men, red pill stuff.
Incel stuff.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah,
I'm gonna, if it's okay with you,
yeah.
I'm gonna put the chair back for now.
No, that's
Or, sorry,
perfectly
the
fine.
seat,
Yeah, that's fine.
because I don't think I actually need the seat.
No, you
even though
don't.
you said to take one.
Anyway, grab another seat for this next one because I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
It's like this
No,
time
but
I'm grabbing a
it was
stool.
used during the witch trials. There was a big forum to. So the argument was, if they drowned, they're human. If they survive, they're a witch.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so
'Cause if
it
you
did get
drown,
mentioned.
You're human. It means you can die. If you don't die from it, you're immortal. You're a witch. There's some kind of black magic there.
And you need to be killed.
Yeah.
It was mentioned about the witch trials, but only briefly, so I just excluded it. But yes, you're correct, Michael.
It's a big, like, if you go to Salem, it's actually like supposedly, I've never been, but it's in a museum on display. Like there's an actual like old
Dude, for
school
real?
one, and it looks kind of crazy because it literally looks like a teeter totter, but instead of like a chair, it's like a basket that they just sat in.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, they
Hence
really...
the carnival ride, because it's a basket you get to sit in.
Yeah, it wasn't so much a chair. At least that one wasn't. I'm sure there were
Got
ones.
it. That's why
There's
Casey said
there's
carnival ride.
probably different variations of it, but either way,
Depends how much
The
money they wanted to
basket
put
that just
into it.
lowers, takes you a little dunk in the water for a little splashy, and then gets you out.
misogyny has no boundaries. Misogyny bad.
It's boundless.
Boundless, thank you. Sure. If the ducking stool wasn't enough female oppression, boy, are you gonna love the next one. Next up.
Wait. Does the next one have something to do with women?
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
I would like you to. I don't think you'll ever guess, but I want you to guess, just for my own amusement. I want you to guess what the next device could possibly be used for that's specifically targeting women during this era.
Well, you said it's not the horse.
No, it's not the horse.
Um,
In fact, this one, I don't think this one's very well known.
Does it get inserted inside of them?
No.
Do they sit on
kind
it?
of. No, they don't sit on it. It kind of gets inserted. Not in the context you're thinking of, though.
Because there is a torture device that I'm thinking of that's like, it looks like a triangle and they put weights on your legs and it pretty much just pulls you down.
That was what I meant by that
Yeah.
earlier. That was the horse.
Yeah.
No.
It splits you in half.
I couldn't remember
That's
the
a
name
famous
of
one.
it.
Would you like me to continue?
The person that made that was killed by it themselves. I'm still trying to think.
It's inserted, but it's not the. Is it? I'm wondering
Is
if
it
it goes
a-
through their mouth then.
Oh, is it that spike point that they are hung over?
No. To both of you.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
I think so, but no.
It was like a little pyramid thing, and they were literally chained and
That's what Michael was just talking about, but no. Either way,
Going
you're both
weird.
wrong. Anyway,
belly button.
No. Next up is the breast ripper, also known as the iron spider. It was a torture device specifically used for women, and it does exactly what the name suggests it does. The device was used for an array of negative attributes that were decided by male inquisitors. This device, made of iron, would be heated and used to literally rip the breast off of women.
I would just like to point out, if Christianity is real, hopefully all of those inquisitors are burning in a fiery pit in hell.
One could hope. Used in the Middle Ages, but was also used in ancient Greece because, God forbid, a woman have passion or opinions. A couple examples of it would be Agatha of Sicily and Saint Barbara are some notable women. Both had their breast ripped off their bodies. Saint Barbara, for example, was locked away in a tower by her father, converted to Christianity, and was baptized by a priest in disguise. He came in disguise and he baptized her in the tower. She was denounced by her father, and he demanded she be put to death. So she was taken to court, and there's a whole big backstory and lore of this event. But her father decided he would kill her himself. He tore her sides open, battered her head, and tore her breast off using this device. And this was
anyone who doesn't know, I just looked it up. It pretty much looks like a really intense set of tongs.
It's a set of tongs.
Like barbecue tongs with spikes, basically.
This was a biblical story. This with Saint Barbara. So believe what you wish, although very interesting.
Did they say what she had done?
She converted to Christianity.
No, just for converting to Christianity.
Yeah,
and
her father, or she didn't.
No daughter of mine.
Yeah, she didn't want to convert back to. I don't remember what the original.
I was gonna say, what was she originally?
I don't remember.
Did you say? Did I miss it?
I didn't say it because we're talking about. I don't remember. The story is not that important. It's the device itself that we're talking about.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
And not even the device. That's kind of wild that you're so upset that your daughter left. She didn't even leave religion. She just chose a different religion. So it's like she didn't even turn her back on God. She just went to a different religion, and you're still gonna torture her yourself.
Correct. Anyway, so the device, as Michael said, looks like a very aggressive set of tongs. It has 4 claws, 2 on either side, and they could be heated up or not.
The arms are about as thin as barbecue tongs. I mean,
and they were used to slowly rip the breast off the body, like chewing gum on the bottom of a table.
The crazy thing about the photo is, it's just spikes. So the spikes basically clamp on, but there's really no sharp thing to actually cut. It's literally you're ripping it off from the image. It looks like.
That's why it's called the breast ripper.
I'm just you'd think there'd be some kind of sharp edge that would help cut it. No, you're actually yanking and ripping it off, which I feel would take a lot of force.
Just kill all the inquisitors and just I hate people.
What's crazy if you think about it is this is probably off topic a little bit, but as history has showed us time and time again, misogyny is not okay and has led to some disturbing practices and inventions, but yet it still has carried over into modern day, and I'm
because of the patriarchy.
Probably.
I know people say that, but that's literally the truth. It's because of who's been in charge and who's led history. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just one of those things. You just ask yourself why.
Exactly. Why? Why did no one stop this?
We've got 2 more to go. Are you boys ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Next up is the Garrote.
The Garrote?
The Garrote. It was a form of... This one isn't so much a torture device as it is an execution device. But the process could be quite grueling. So it was a form of strangulation that dates back to the 17th century India. The Garrote usually refers to an iron collar attached to a post, but it could also be a thin wire. The victim's neck would be placed inside said collar, and it was slowly tightened till something magical happened. You die.
Head pop off.
You just die.
Yeah, I imagine it would just snap your neck at a certain point.
If it's a wire, it's gonna slit into your throat after it's so tight. And actually, fun fact, you'll die from drowning in your own blood before your head's
Thank you
cut
for
off.
that. So the other word for all this is asphyxiation.
Yeah, you're uncomfortable with that, but this is literally the topic you picked.
Anyway, if the Garrote was made of a cable, which all the fun things that Gabe said would be correct, it was attached to wooden handles and would be wrapped around the victim's throat, like you see in the movies, like when they're using like a piano wire. It's like choking somebody out with a piano wire is essentially the Garrote.
And I like how you don't actually kill them from choking them.
Yeah.
Well, you technically do, but the wire itself is not what's choking them. It's the blood that's gushing into their lungs, filling their lungs up.
You think the executioner ever had remorse for what he did? Like, yeah, he was paid to kill people, but like, you think he ever just had remorse
probably
for
not.
it?
They probably found the person, like a sociopath or a psychopath from back then, and they're like, "Hey, you're fine killing people, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, literally no issue whatsoever."
Or
And
I
like,
feel
"All
like
right,
it was another hot take, religious brainwashing.
true."
Like you're
Of
doing
like,
God's
I'm
work
doing
by
this for
cleaning this
God.
earth.
Well, I think I think it was also just. At one point, I think an executioner would become desensitized to it if you've done it quite a lot.
Just collect your paycheck, go home, and be like, "Hey, babe, how was your day?" It's like, don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So hot take: the first executioners, the reason they wore the hood is because they were actually like the Pope. Pope was like, "I gotta kill some people every now and then."
I wouldn't be
That would
surprised.
be a hell of a hot take. Oh,
Pope is
shit.
like, "I really want to kill some people myself, and I can't do it anymore now that I'm so important.
He's
So I'll
like,
just wear
yeah,
the
I'm
hood."
judge, jury, and
Wait a minute, we've already
executioner.
talked about this with the Bad Popes episode. That didn't stop anybody. That didn't stop any of them.
Nope.
No, not one of them.
The Pope's so powerful, he could just probably go out with a revolver and shoot somebody on the street and it'd be fine.
And they'd probably be like, he had a reason.
It was for
It was
God,
for
he would
God.
say.
And that's the one time they're not going to be like criminally insane. Like,
Yeah.
God's telling him to kill people. Like, well, it's
It was
the
the
Pope.
work of God.
He is the one talking to God.
Could you imagine the Pope just going out on the street like this new Pope?
Just doming
Just,
someone.
no, just like he's just going out on the street and just beating the shit out of somebody. And then he's like, I did it for God.
Stop him. He's the Pope. Like,
I did it for God.
Never mind.
Like, would the Catholics be like, you are the one who we appoint, saying that you are the closest to God. So if you're telling us, you know,
I had
that's
kind of a
wrong with
similar
religion,
thought. I
it's
was
like-
like,
I
feel like someone would see
and
that
that's
be
why
like,
the Inquisitions happened, because the
feel
people
like
in
someone would
charge
see
were like,
that.
God told us to do this, and everyone was like, okay.
I just imagine.
Someone would see that and be like, "Are we okay? Is this okay now? Can we start killing each other?"
I just have this picture of the Pope being Heath Ledger's Joker.
You want to know how I got
this?
staff?
You want to know how I got
shit.
this
That'd be
cross?
wild.
This cross.
All right, so why?
So I was a young Catholic boy.
So
An
why
altar boy.
might one get tortured by the Garrote? Quote unquote tortured. The Garrote was
Murdered.
used on people who were convicted and sentenced to capital punishment. Typically used against people who commit murder, SA, arson, treason, or maybe for misogynistic reasons, because that seems to be the trend.
Who's to say?
Who's
Probably
to say?
everything.
This last one's probably my favorite because it's pretty hardcore.
Anything else on the Garrote, though?
No, it's pretty straightforward. You suffocate, you bleed to death,
Yeah.
or you drown in your own blood.
There was something in.
In the orange.
Oh my god! I want to say it was called.
Love that song.
Take your time.
I think it was GoldenEye. It was the first 007 with Pierce. Oh, what was his name?
Brosnan.
Yes, thank you.
Was he GoldenEye? I thought that was his first one. Wasn't that
I think it was the third one though that he was in when he was Bond. There was a torture device in one of those movies where it was literally like a golden chair that he sat in, and they like locked his neck in with this device. It just like locked around his neck, and then it had a little rod in the back, and as you turn it, the rod would push against your, pretty much where your brainstem meets your spine. It would push on that part until it snapped, Like, if I had to imagine it's something similar to that, that's the only reference in my mind I can picture. Like, I can picture a wire, but like when you said it, like that was the only like reference I could think of.
That sounds violent.
Oh yeah, it's horrible, but it's essentially it sounds like the same idea.
Sorry, I was taking a picture of a bird who was sitting on my sunflower.
I thought you were taking a picture of us.
No.
Yeah, I genuinely thought he was recording. I was like, what is he recording?
Do you want to?
Recording
Do you want to
He's
see
taking
it?
a picture for the gram. Let me see your bird.
It was kind of cool. This little bird was riding the sunflower as it was swaying in the wind.
Are you gonna show it to us?
I sent it to you guys.
Oh, I thought you were gonna show us on the podcast.
No, I sent it to you guys.
Camera's right
I'll
there.
add a picture in the podcast so the fans can see it too.
Pretty bird. Oh.
Anyway, next up, neck lacing. You're gonna want to rev up those engines for this one because it's neck lacing. Sit back down.
I'm going to my garage.
This is everyone's favorite torture method, right, Gabe? Right, Michael?
Correct.
Everyone's? I haven't heard. What is this?
Neck lacing. Have you guys heard of neck lacing?
Never.
Michael, can you explain it?
It's like a necklace, but way more harsh.
Don't worry, I'll take it from here, Michael.
I have a necklace. Is this a necklace?
Neck lacing is a method of torture where someone has gasoline-soaked tire placed around their bodies, effectively binding their arms, and the gasoline is then lit on fire. This torture technique was originally used in the 80s in South Africa against the suspected apartheid collaborators. Gabe, I'm sure you're familiar. Can you explain the apartheid for the children watching?
Yeah, so really...
I got it. 0 for 2. Got it. Kind of disappointed, but that's fine. The apartheid, for those who care, was a racial segregation and discrimination enforced in South Africa from 1948 to 1994, was a legal structure to enforce racial hierarchy where white South Africans held political and economic power and the black population was systemically oppressed. Sound familiar? Probably. Back to neck lacing.
I was gonna say the same thing. Why didn't you let me say that, Casey?
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Like that was what I was gonna say.
2 for 2, man. I said it was a good necklace, and it was correct, and you're right too. 2 for 2.
I as soon as I started speaking on it, you just jumped in, and
I'm sure that's exactly what you're gonna say.
Same thing.
Back to neck lacing. This was used to punish people who were in collaboration with the apartheid government. So racism bad, gasoline tire good. Got it? Neck lacing wasn't exclusive to just South Africa. It was used in Haiti, Sri Lanka, India, Nigeria, and Brazil. Brazil was a little bit more hardcore, though. In Brazil, they would put a person in a stack of gasoline-soaked tires. Yep. Effectively called micro-ondas or microwave.
Oh my god.
That is gangster shit, right?
Damn.
That's a microwave you do not want to fuck with. By the way, I said
Now,
2 more, but I meant 3 more.
Do
There's
you think
1
the
more torture device.
Center would be cold still? You know, like in regular microwaves, how the center's cold but the outside's hot and crispy.
You know what? I'm when next time someone's got to change their tires, we'll save the old ones and we'll
test that out.
Yeah, we'll film you experiencing the neck lacing, and then you can kind of just give us a walkthrough of what's happening.
No, you'd have to cut me open. For this, all we have to do is get a ballistics gel of some sort and put the heating, like the sensors on it that can tell like the heating, and then put some of the sensors in the middle of the gel and just see if it's getting as hot as the outside.
But I kind of like the idea of like a play-by-play, play-by-play.
I want you to realize, Gabe, you started this with you'd have to cut me open.
Well, for the purposes of what I want to figure out, yes, I could not be the experiment itself.
Well, we could just like insert you with temperature
like you
gauges.
Tell us when you start feeling pain and heat.
Yeah, but I want to.
So it's
that
hot.
Doesn't answer the
it's
initial
really
question. Is it cooking the inside the same as the outside? If it's called the microwave,
I think you're missing the point, Gabe.
At a certain point, you're gonna be burnt at some point.
Yeah, I think you missed the plot somewhere.
I just want to know is all yes, we all get it. The outside will be crispy, burnt, black, charred, right? I get that. I just want to know if it's called the microwave, is it going to be like a microwave and the inside's not fully cooked?
Do you think, man,
I think it'll get hot enough that it will.
See,
So
that was
here's
my
the
question.
thing.
Thank you for answering
The
that. 'Cause
outside of the
that was it.
tires are gonna melt first, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if the fire would get to you in time to kill you, if the flame would kill you first, or if it'd be the hot, boiling rubber that is now pouring on your body, essentially.
Or the smoke insulation that will.
Yeah, because the fire's on the outside of the tires right now. So I'd imagine
You got a lot of things
fire
going against you.
killing you right away.
There's a lot of things working against you in that moment.
Yeah.
I feel like your percentage of survival is pretty low.
It's
Oh,
gone
God, yeah.
way down.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. The singular tire, I could see you surviving.
Because I've seen
How?
Like one gasoline soaked
what?
tire.
Around your body,
Yeah. Yeah.
set
Dude,
on fire.
Have you watched like
Now,
people burn tires? It's black. That's not.
I'm not.
It is black smoke.
I'm not saying you have a high percentage. I'm just saying I feel like you could.
'Cause even if you survive,
You're not going to come out of
probably
this
die of
unscathed.
cancer, like lung cancer or something, if you somehow survive it.
And depending on the circumstances, like if they just put the tire on you, lit it on fire, and you could just run away. Like, you're not
So
going.
yeah, I'm picturing like a tire's just put around your upper body, like locking your arms in so you can't move. But like, could you run away from it? I mean, you're on fire, so I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like you still have low chances. Like, you're still gonna get pretty messed up.
Like, you're on fire, so I don't know if you have like the best chances of making it regardless.
Hey, you look like you're having like an existential crisis right now.
I was like, let's just go back to the good days of the Garrote.
Just stare off in the distance like a widowed woman looking at the sea, looking for her lost sailor. I love it. Perfect. Anyway, come aboard the SS Flashlight as I tell ye a tale of terror. Savvy?
I'm sorry. Did they legit call it the SS Flashlight?
No, I made that up because we're moving on to the next one. Finally, it's Keelhauling. I feel like most people are familiar with Keelhauling, but if you are not, go somewhere else. This episode is over. It's not over. It's not over. Gabe, you gonna come back to us?
Yeah, sorry, I was there. What's up?
Keelhauling was a corporal punishment in the English and Dutch navies. Essentially, you were attached to a rope that went around the boat, and you were dragged underwater underneath the keel of the ship. I always thought it was from like side to side, like the shortest diameter around the boat, right? It's not. It is from stern to bow or front to back. In 1853, keelhauling was. So in 1853, keelhauling was abolished, but before it was punishment or means of torturing for someone who committed a serious offense aboard a vessel.
So wait, would you essentially be running them over with the boat, or would they just hit it and roll down the side?
Basically, they tie you. So your boat, they tie you around it, and you get dragged underneath the boat.
Yeah.
So essentially, almost running them over, almost.
In a sense, because okay, so if I am not mistaken, right, there are two people that have the ends of the ropes. There's a dude tied in the middle, and he's thrown over the front of the boat. And these two dudes, I'm assuming, are like walking down the side of the boat,
him kind of in the middle,
dragging him across that center point.
Okay, because I was picturing, like you said, from front to back. So I was like, are they throwing him under the boat basically, or would he hit the front and roll down the side, one of the sides?
No. He's going under the water.
Oh God, depending on how big the boat is, you
drown. They did that on Vikings to Ragnar's brother.
I was thinking of Black Sail. In the show Black Sails, they did that to Blackbeard.
In Vikings, they do it to, what is his name, Rollo? He's Ragnar's brother because he accepted the French king's offer and turned against them, and then whenever he goes against them and joins up with them again,
so you said
they throw him underneath the ship.
You said this was a torture device, right?
Yes.
means of torture.
I don't think you survived to be tortured through this, like to get info.
A lot of times they did not.
I was gonna say,
but I mean, there were times that people did survive. I'm sure they died inevitably, as I will state.
Drug along the bottom of a boat underwater, so you're...
So, here's the breakdown. A sailor who committed an offense was tied to a rope, then thrown overboard with a weight tied to them. The ropes were then pulled, dragging the sailor underneath the keel, which we've explained before, but during the process, he would have faced some serious risks, such as lacerations from barnacles, which are very sharp, trauma or injury from impacting the hull, so you could experience broken bones, and finally, they could be drowned. Obviously, he's underwater for however long they decide to keep him there.
I didn't even consider that.
What, gills?
No, the barnacles. Because I was thinking...
That was the first thing I thought of, was like...
I was just picturing the bottom of a boat, and I'm like, okay, the bottom's kind of smooth of most boats.
No.
You
got all those barnacles growing on. That's going to...
Like a cheese grater.
Stomach... That's gonna like a cheese grater, just grate your body open.
Oh my! I didn't even think about barnacles.
Oh,
and that's to say, if you're imagine if somehow you're spinning against it, like, and it's just like your body's turning and just cheese grater against it.
Ready.
I could see broken bones because you're hitting a hard object and drowning, but I was like, I didn't even consider barnacles. That would, you potentially. Yeah.
So.
I didn't even think about that.
So if you're lucky and you did survive, you probably have serious injuries. And most that went through that and did survive, they would probably die anyway, because they didn't have the best medicine back then, so you'd probably get a series of infections, and you would just
really bad healthcare.
Yeah, you would die anyway aboard a ship, because it's not like they did this at a hospital. You're in the middle of the ocean.
I will say, you imagine being on that boat and you pull the guy up at the very end of the boat and he's still alive and actually talking to you. I'd be like, maybe we shouldn't have messed this guy up because he's a tough he's a tough sumbitch and he'll probably kill us now.
Well, at that point he's really weak, so.
Oh yeah, but I'm just saying,
throw him back in, he's not making it.
Oh my god, I'd be terrified of this man.
Yeah, if they were gonna keel haul you to death, like even if you survived the first go, you're probably just gonna go under again. You're not coming back. You're not coming out of this.
It all depends on the size of the boat too, because I'm picturing
or if they're in the ocean.
Dude, it could be a freaking dinghy and you're underwater for 30 seconds. I don't want that to happen.
I feel like your chances would be greater at 30 seconds.
Yeah, but even if the dinghy has
Because let's put it here, Casey. Would you want to be under a dinghy or would you want to be under one of the freight liners?
To be real, Michael, even if I was alive during this age, I don't want to be aboard a vessel. Gone for months at a time, As much as I like pirates and the glorification of pirates.
Depending on the time period, I might be a pirate. It'd be kind of cool, I feel like.
For 2 days. And then the other 4 months you're at sea, you're miserable. You're eating hard biscuits. Your fucking teeth are probably falling out of your head. Yeah, hardtack.
Whose teeth aren't falling out of their head?
I don't know. I'm just
saying. That time period, they had horrible teeth.
Probably.
No one had a dentist, really.
Well, probably, but that's beside the point. Either way, your health on a ship is awful. You're eating hardtack, salted meats,
Knuckles and Flapjack.
Even in that show, even at a kid's show, they were described horribly.
Yeah, they were not. Knuckles looked rough.
Unless you had a whale best friend, your life was horrible. Final thoughts. What's your guys' favorite torture device? What device would you want to be used on you? And what device would you want to use on others? It's a really morbid question thinking about it, but that's beside.
I don't want any torture device used on me.
Nope, you got to pick one.
Damn, I'm trying to think of the best odds.
None of these.
I'm trying to think of the best. Honestly, the thumbs are probably my best.
Yeah,
odds.
I was gonna say Thumbscrew.
Don't hang me from them. If they just break them, I'm like, okay, I lost my thumbs.
Well, the thing is you survived the thumb screws. Yeah, it is the only one where you can survive.
I think I would pick that one because that's the only one I could potentially. Even if they hung me from, I think I could still survive that. It would suck.
As long as you can stop the bleeding.
Yeah, as long as I could cauterize him or something real quick.
Gabe, where do you fall in this category?
So the chair that dips you in water.
Yeah.
We'll do that one. I'll go with that.
You could drown though.
Yeah, they're gonna dunk you until you basically drown.
But Gabe's but I might have fun right before I die.
And if I don't die, then they're gonna be like, "It's a demon or a witch," and I'll be like,
And then
"Aha! I curse all of you."
No, and then they're just gonna hold you under forever, or they're gonna light you on fire.
That's fine.
I think they burn.
Oh, okay.
Which also, think about that real quick. That is a horrible idea. It's like you survived a drowning, so you're a witch, but fire will kill you.
Well, that's why I'm going to put a curse on them before I die.
If you're a witch, you'd think even the fire wouldn't kill you.
All right.
They're like, "He's a witch," and I'll be like, "Curse all of you and all of your families and your children's children for generations to come. I curse and plague all of you." Just let them think that they've been cursed. But yeah, so torture device that I choose to be done on me. I'm gonna go with the chair. Torture device I'll use on other people.
The chair?
Yeah, dip me in water.
Yeah, we talked about this. He's gonna think it's a carnival ride.
Feel like
he's
you're
gonna
drown.
people. Yeah, that's why he said he's gonna.
Michael, this is
the
my made-up scenario.
Yeah, and that was the whole basis of the Madame
scenario.
Zeroni thing and the curse.
Okay, go ahead.
This is my basis. All right. And
Michael and I are on the side of the Thumbscrew.
I didn't know if we talked him out of it.
No. Gabe's a stubborn witch. Anyway, we're on the side of the Thumbscrew. Gabe's getting dunked in the chair. Now let's flip the script, and we're the executioners. What devices are you choosing?
You think you could survive the breast ripper?
The brazen bull.
Now, from this list.
Like realistically, no, seriously, real quick. Do you think you could survive that?
I don't like to think about that one, Michael.
Or glastration?
They're gonna stick a spike up your ass, and it'll come out your mouth, and then they're just gonna rotisserie style you while you're still alive.
God damn, bro, you are brutal today. I do not like this episode. You are
you told me to be unhinged. You said be more unhinged.
I have feelings.
You said be more unhinged.
This episode's over.
But
Casey, I love you.
I know you do. I love you too, buddy.
I just want to cook you over open fire, rotisserie style.
Only if you eat my ass
think
first.
I could be.
Can I put an apple in the front and
executioner.
the back end?
I don't know if I'd be an executioner because I'm like.
Anyway, if I was an executioner, I would put Gabe in the microwave.
Yes. Now I get to find out when you're done with me, though, and I am burnt to a char. Please cut me open and see it. Just confirm, did the insides get cooked or not? I'm assuming it didn't happen, but
how am I supposed to confirm with you?
Confirm for yourself. And then
I don't care.
I just need someone to cut me open and just confirm if the insides are cooked or not.
And tell who? You're the only one who cares if we cook you. And if we cook you, what? Listen to yourself.
They need this. They need this scientific information, Casey.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
What benefit would that give the world?
Write a paper on it.
No.
Write a paper.
Publish it in the New York Times.
Let me write the play-by-play of how I killed my best friend. Yeah, nothing bad will happen.
For science.
That's going to hold up.
No, that's not how that works.
It's exactly how it works.
That's not going to look good for you in court. That's hella evidence if you write about it.
Michael, I need you to write about it, but go under the ghost writer name of Casey Reed.
Wait, so you want me to commit the crime, but Michael write about it under my name? I might as well write an autobiography about it at that point.
And Michael, embellish it as much as you want.
So I'm framing Casey for something he actually did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
It's the perfect plot.
It's the perfect murder. No one will see it coming. All right. From the rack to the ducking stool, from crushed fingers to burning tires. These were just, a few of the punishments, from a litany of lists. But some of these weren't just punishments. They were also performances. And while most of these devices are gone, the need to control through fear is still very much alive. So maybe the real question isn't how we tortured, but why. We're still fascinated. Yep. Correct. Anyway.
Just think, we went from burning tires to Batman. All because of fear.
Thanks for joining us in this dark episode. If you like this episode, share it with your bravest friend, leave a review, or maybe just sleep with the lights on tonight. Until next time, don't forget your flashlight.
And when you're changing your next tire, just remember, Casey wants it for an experiment.
Yes.